Well, we're hoping that everybody's watching and excited today because we got sound working. We're excited. It is Volunteer Week. We got the sun out. We got a beautiful day. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Scott Edgett. I'm the director here of operations. And I've got next to me Holly, who is saying hi and wondering who I am and probably wanting some food. But we're going to have Carter here get us on Facebook Live in a minute, too. But for those of you who are joining us, I want to say welcome. Welcome to Volunteer Week. It's an important week for us. Last year, we were not able to broadcast due to COVID and everything else, but this year now we finally can. And we've got Keith here from the Timber Jade going to take pictures. We got Carter up on the deck. Maybe you can see both of them from the cam up there. Wave, you guys. There they are right there. And we're going to have Carolyn out here in a few minutes. She is our new volunteer coordinator, actually here at the Bear Center, which is really neat. Carolyn, are you coming over here? Here comes Carolyn. We got Holly next to us, so we got to kind of keep our space here. But we want to say thank you to all the volunteers out there, all the pond chatters, moderators. Hey, moderators, how you like operating that camera? You know, there's a rumor going around that there's a bear running behind me. And I think I'll move over. She's been known to shake my hand a couple times, so I'm a little bit more concerned. And there goes Sharon. She's definitely undercover with her mask as the bear keeper. And she's going to give Holly some food so that we can have a little space. But Carolyn, you want to say hi to all the volunteers out there?
Well, I would love to say hello to all the volunteers and thank you guys for all of your time. Over the years, this Bear Center and I was getting out of Sharon's way. This couldn't have happened without all the volunteers and all of the hours and all the experience and talent that they've brought. This wouldn't have happened. And we need it going forward as well. We've got volunteers from all over the world. We've got volunteers that are here on site and help here in Ely. And we also have people that assist us from all over the world virtually. And we're always looking for more. And we will train you. We will do what it takes to figure out what your needs and wants are and how they fit in with our needs and wants. And just if you want more information about all the volunteer stuff, go on to bear.org and look at the volunteer tab in there. And you'll get all the information there, so I won't bore you with it here. But what we'd like to do is we're here to thank everybody. And again, we couldn't have done this without you.
And that is so true, and Carolyn said it quite well. But we're just excited to be able to have a volunteer coordinator again that's on site. And we had our past volunteer coordinators that did an excellent job. Myra and Terry, if you're out there, you were volunteers, and you did a fabulous job with that program. They've also helped train Carolyn in a little bit, too. So if you're watching, thank you. Thanks for doing the volunteer coordinator program for years. And then after them, we had Heidi kind of step in a little bit, but she had a big job to do. And it became hard to fill all those shoes with operations of the Bear Center, too. But, you know, volunteers and Volunteer Week is an important week for us, and it's an important week for the Bear Center and for Dr. Lynn Rogers and the Research Center. Without those two places and the volunteers, and you know who you are, and we could go through the list. The list is big. But it's been important from the littlest project, from the 15 minutes of volunteering to hours upon hours and years. We want to say thank you to everybody out there. You take a look at the Bear Center today, you look at where we're at, it wouldn't be here without the volunteers. And I know in many, many organizations within the Ely area that would not be possible without volunteers. Don't you agree?
Absolutely, I agree. And it's us, it's the Wolf Center, there's all sorts of people, and some volunteer in multiple spots. And we can't say thank you enough to all of that. And there's just so much that we need done that the small staff that is here just can't accomplish that. It's just not physically possible. So increasing our team with volunteers does more than we can even explain or thank you for.
Yeah, and for those of you watching out there right now, we were going to try and do Facebook Live, but we're having a little bit of issues with the phone and the reception and stuff. It gets to be a problem. It's always got to be something electronic. I mean, what the heck? We do have our sound taken care of, which is nice. It turns out that the antenna just wasn't in the right spot to pick up the broadcast. But either way, we get to talk to all you out there, and it's fun and exciting to be able to do that. And we're going to bring Sharon on right now. We'll give each other a little space here. Although we are having people that have received shots and stuff like that, so we're pretty good, and Sharon's halfway there. But Sharon, you want to come up and say something about Volunteer Week and the volunteers? Know a lot about them.
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you to all the volunteers that come here to not only educate the public and our guests inside, and that's going to be a big part of this year's volunteer services, is to educate the folks and answer questions inside and point out where they might find more information if they're looking for something. And the other big thing, of course, is working with Ted, Lucky, Holly, and Tasha, and which is going quite well this year. The girls are giving each other space. Well, sometimes Holly does. Anyway, it's always such a pleasure to have our folks that are volunteers come and work with us. And I can't thank you enough. And the jobs are big. So it really helps all of us out here when you not only apply but are accepted to meet our four bears. And they can barely wait to meet you. So I had to do that because, Scott's here. So I just want to say thank you. And just to quickly go over our hibernation contest again. The winners were with Ted, Michelle Mannix. On March 14th, Ted came out. Tasha, March 15th, winner Bobby Stone. Lucky, April 3rd, winner Nicholas Labara. And Holly, April 3rd, winner Haley Germain. So thank you all. And I don't know how you guys know all that stuff, but you have to. Holly's showing her talents with her carrot. So it's pretty neat to watch these bears eat. So here's Scott again. Thank you all.
Telemarketer just called me. They must be talking about the volunteer program. Looking for some of you great hard workers out there to be telemarketers. But I thought maybe it was Kathy. She likes to call and tell me what to do as a volunteer when I'm doing this. But in all fun, just picking on you, Kathy. In all fun, we're going to have Missy come up here and have a little fun. Missy's our manager of the Bear Center. And we're excited to have her take on that role. And don't, not yet. Come around here, please. We're excited to have her take on that role, and she just wants to say a couple words.
Hello, everybody. I just want to thank everybody for all the volunteers and all the hard work that you guys do for us, because like everybody keeps saying, it's very true that we couldn't do any of this without you guys, because we are a very small group of people here, and we need every extra hand that we can do. So we just want to say thank you to you guys. We appreciate everything you do. I know Mr. Lynn is making his way over here, so he'll be on with you guys soon. But yeah, we just really appreciate you guys. We can't thank you enough, and any help is a lot more. Even if you can only do a little bit, it's a big deal. So just a little bit can go a long way. So all your guys' help is just very, very appreciated. And that's really what I have to say. Because I know you guys want to hear from Lynn here, who is right behind me. And I will let him talk to all you guys. I know you guys like to hear from him. But once again, thank you guys so much. And here's Lynn.
Thank you, Missy. We really appreciate that. Some people are always eager to get on the microphone and some aren't. But right now we've got Dr. Lynn Rogers standing right here next to me. He's turning this way. His back is to you. And we're actually looking up there. There he goes. He figured it out. See, he knows what he's doing. And, Lynn went through some very interesting trials in the beginning of this year. And now everybody gets to see that he's looking pretty good. Don't you think you're looking good?
I look terrific. Oh, don't believe a word I say. I know who I am.
But it's pretty cool that you're standing here with us during Volunteer Week with all the stuff that you went through. And I think even a lot of volunteers helped you get through that, didn't they?
I'll tell you, I have relied on volunteers from the beginning of my career. I couldn't believe it. People stepped forward from the very beginning and helped in ways I couldn't have expected. They made so much more happen than otherwise would have been possible. And it was the same story with the Bear Center and everything I've done. So that's why whenever I get on the microphone, the main thing I want to say is thank you.
That was a very nice thing. Could you say it again?
Thank you.
No, say it again.
Whoa. Say it with a bear voice. Oh, thank you.
There we go. Because I know that a lot of the volunteers used to bother Lynn all the time about saying his line, which is,
It's me, Bear.
see, still got memory. What is it?
My mind is sharp as a tack.
That's right, it is. And not the pointed side.
right. All right. Yeah. My mind is getting poked by a tack.
But no, you yourself were really a volunteer of the North American Bear Center for a lot of years. Until a couple of years ago, you were actually a volunteer here, weren't you?
This place depended on volunteers so much that me and Donna were among them.
You were. You very much so.
Right. Donna, well, I told this story before, but Donna started out being a volunteer janitor, and I was her assistant.
I think the people from the East Coast just appreciated that you called her Darna. Yeah, well, they always add ours to everything. I'm always picking on certain individuals for that. I never quite figured it out. But see, you do that in Ely here, don't we?
Yeah, and sometimes I say things I don't mean to. I don't mean Darna. I mean Donna.
It would really be Donner. But I say a lot of things that I mean. But most of them I don't. But this Holly, she gets me nervous sometimes because she's been known to want to shake my hand. So I'm going to just move over and give her a little space. Yeah, sometimes she's got that morning attitude. But here she is giving us that crooked nose look. She learned that from Honey, I think. Did she? And she's saying hi to the volunteers out there. And she's saying, Sharon, give me some food or I'm going to whack Scott. And so I'm hoping you do. But Lynn, there's been many years volunteers, and from where I came from and being in volunteer programs and stuff that I've done over the years, I never seen the extensive amount of volunteers across the country and the world that the Bear Center has, and a lot across the world and the country. Do they not?
Thank goodness. Yeah. And, just as an example, for the Spanky Den Cam, 63 people stepped forward to watch and record, and they're from around the world so they could cover all the time zones.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
How many people would you say volunteer out at the research center?
Well,
you had the 63 plus. It's probably over 100.
Oh, that's more. I mean, there's a few people like Mike and Lori and now Judy Thone and Diane Peters and people like Lori Lindsay and Becky Hollis and those. I shouldn't be saying names.
That's okay.
But that help in a lot of very intensive ways. And I probably forgot people.
Peggy.
JM. Peggy. Yeah, drives 13 hours from Indianapolis every month.
The JM flies.
JM flies up from Texas. And
I think she's even drove before. Or no, she got a vehicle up here.
You got me.
But they come from all over the world.
Yeah. I'm just thankful for everything. So.
Well, we're thankful to see you're healthy and you're feeling good. You look good. And like I said, I usually mean everything I say. Sometimes I don't. But he is looking good. I know that he was concerned about himself there for a while because he couldn't understand after his surgeries how he didn't have all this energy. And I said, well, gee, I said, you had something kind of major beyond above that too. So you're doing quite a good recovery, I think.
Pretty, yeah, right, yep. And I mean, I am fatigued a lot, but two of the medicines I'm on cause fatigue.
Yeah.
So maybe my health isn't as bad as I feel sometimes.
Right, and I know that we had a volunteer that became an employee here and actually helped out volunteering, and that's Carolyn, and now she's our volunteer coordinator, which is really going to take this program back to what it was and maybe even above and beyond that. I know Myra and Terry did a great job with it back then, and we mustered through it as good as we could, and didn't do as good as we could have because we were busy with other things. And we apologize to all the volunteers and everybody out there for that, but we're going to pick this back up and we're going to take off with this volunteer program here at the North American Bear Center. And we're going to have fun with it. I know Carolyn will bring it to a good level, and Sharon looks forward to it. We always look forward to seeing the folks that drive all the way from Washington to coast and around the country that come here to be volunteers. I think a couple of them are headed this way fairly soon that are driving across the country. And then we got both coasts that they drive from, and then overseas too. But our volunteer program is fabulous. And, you know, Lynn and I are going to announce, and Carolyn's coming up here right now. I see her working her way here. Carolyn, do you want to step right up here? You want to tune in at 1 o'clock today. 1 o'clock is the key time, Ely time, 1 o'clock Central. You want to tune in then because we're going to be doing drawings for gifts for our volunteers to show appreciation. And it's not prizes, it's gifts. And we're going to have some fun with that, but it's going to be at 1 o'clock, and at the broadcast, Dr. Rogers will be at the cabin contemplating working on a book. And, you know, he's been thinking long and hard on that, so he's getting there. I think he's getting there. I actually think in the next 10 years he'll start it. Don't you think?
I sure hope so.
I like to pick on my buddy. But, you know, he's got a lot of goals, and without all the volunteers out at the research center, you know, he couldn't achieve some of this stuff. And I know that from your heart, you really do appreciate it.
Oh, I couldn't. As people tell me, you couldn't do this without us.
And that is very true. And Carolyn, do you have anything to say about Lynn that's fun or true?
Don't tell the truth.
Well, I will say that I have been working with Lynn for, what did we figure out this morning, 30-some years?
33 at least.
At least 33 years that...
we go back to 88.
Thank you for that. We do. So Lynn and I have a history of working well together and a history of fun and banter. And I'm just thrilled that everything worked out the way it did, and I could come here to the Bear Center and do a little extra work at the Bear Center and be an employee and put some knowledge to work and help grow the volunteer program. Not that it was bad before, but we've just got more ideas. We want to expand it. We've got our intern program that's taking off. We want to complement the intern program with a very vivid volunteer program. Sorry, distracted.
You thought Holly was up on the
deck.
deck.
I thought Holly was on the deck. Why don't you get up there?
It's really Keith.
Oh, sorry, Keith. But I'm looking forward to working with all the people we've had before, and with all the new people. I hope we get interested in this, because there's a lot of growth that we can do, and there's a lot of room for growth and fun and professionalism, and there's so much we can accomplish. I mean, you look at all the talent of all the people that are part of all the talent of all the people that are part of our volunteer program is just unimaginable talent. It's from accounting to you name it, from A to Z, we've got talent, and we want to take advantage of some of that, quite honestly.
Yeah. Well, you know, Carolyn.
No,
Go
let's say
ahead.
something.
Go ahead. You got
we could not afford to pay, to hire the talent that steps forward. And so much has happened that's been so big because of volunteers making things happen.
Oh, well said. Well said.
I agree.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I'll tell you what, just taking a look at the Bear Center today versus when it first started way back in 2007, when it opened up, and you look at it today and the growth that's happened and the changes that have happened, and it just keeps evolving. It just continues to evolve. Just so everybody knows, though, to give a little bit of a story on Carolyn, and we won't go too deep, but she is not just the volunteer coordinator here. Her main position is in being in charge of the exhibits and updating exhibits with Dr. Rogers. And for those of you who don't know, Judy McClure has decided to take a break from it and train Carolyn in, and we're going to miss Judy heavily. But she's training Carolyn in to take over that so that she can do some traveling and some enjoyment during her retirement years. She's worked a lot of years at the Bear Center and done a beautiful job here. Now Carolyn's under pressure to continue to grow that. And with Judy's help, Judy, if you're watching, we really appreciate you and miss you. But Judy will be here with Carolyn at times, or maybe quite a few times, training her in on that job, on top of the fact that she's working on the volunteer coordinator position. But again, it's Volunteer Week, and we really appreciate all the volunteers out there. And we'll just go into a couple of rumors, and they are rumors. There's been rumors out there that we've got fish in our pond or fish in the stream, and we know that that's not true, because the only way fish could ever arrive here would be with storks or pelicans or birds, right?
And we've never seen either one of those here.
Yeah, but sometimes they fall high, right?
Well, maybe a miracle happened.
That's right.
About it.
Yeah, and we can't give you any information on it, but we know that we've heard that they're in the stream and they'll make their way to the pond or whatever during rain and stuff like that. But they're in a good home there, and I don't really know what's in there. I've just seen pictures, and you can't believe pictures nowadays, because really, I think Keith would agree that you can really, and Lynn would agree, actually, so would Carolyn, that you can doctor pictures up in video nowadays, can't you?
You can.
So maybe there's really not fish in there, right?
It could be all a plot.
Thinking that's what it is. I was working under my dump truck yesterday at about 2:30 or so, and I had one of the volunteers call me up, just pressing me hard. Actually, I was stressed out. I had to go in and take a pill. But she kept on insisting that these fish were brought in from somewhere, and I said, well, I don't know. I don't really know much about these fish. It's something that just happens, right, Lynn?
I never heard of it. Yeah.
Right,
lately I heard that maybe we have lake trout, and I forgot the other suckers or catfish.
No, it's going to lake trout. Pretty soon we start the falls, they'll swim up it. Probably to spawn, huh?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And maybe that's an idea. Maybe we should have fish in there.
Well, we could have a salmon run every year, and maybe we could put some smelt in there. We could have a smelt fry. Yeah. What do you think, Keith? Ice fishing contest. There we go. I'll tell you what, that fits Ely well. We'll put one of those ice fish houses out there and let Holly stay in it. She's all into staying in somebody else's house that they built.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I wonder how the bears would react if we had fish in there.
I don't know. I guess according to some video and stuff, we might find out. Yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? But so if anybody's wondering out there, rumor mill, it has many different things that happen. There's a lot of rumors. There was one time here that one of the butterflies was flying across, and somebody called and said, well, how did that butterfly get there? Well, it probably fluttered in, huh?
Flutterby.
Yeah, the flutterby. So sometimes things are just unexplainable, But for fun out there today, look, there's a squirrel that's on a log that just jumped over the water. Things happen, right?
It happens.
Yep. And we're gonna keep this nice and good. Things happen. No, you can't make it up, can you?
I can't.
No. So, in all fun, we're going to have some fun at 1 o'clock today, Ely time. We're going to do some prize drawings. Lynn's going to be working hard at the Research Center and writing a book. You're not contemplating anymore?
Well, at the same time I'm trying to write my book, there's somebody that I've worked with for years. He thinks more like I do than just about any other bear biologist. He's writing a book, and he wants me to co-author it with him and write 5 of the chapters, and so that I'm not sure shall work on my book or his book. And
Well, you've always been a person that gives a lot, so you might as well help everybody else, and then you'll never get yours done.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Well, I meant it in a positive manner. You
Oh,
always
you're
are willing to
saying-
help people.
You're saying it in a positive way, but that is,
It's a
I
positive
mean,
negative.
if I don't get the book done, I will not have brought my career, got it over the goal line. When anybody that is working with an animal that their welfare depends on public opinion, must work with the public. That's why we built the Bear Center.
Exactly.
And so,
And I know this is going to be a little redundant, but Lynn has already wrote his book. It's the Bear Center. It's a wonderful book. Just come and visit the North American Bear Center, and you can plainly see that all the information in here with all the volunteers and all the help he had turned into one heck of a book. The page opens at the driveway, as far as I'm concerned.
thank you. Wow. Yeah, and in my book, I want to thank, there's been so many officials, in addition to the volunteers, there's so many officials and professors that made what I do possible, that I want to tell those little stories, and give them credit. So, yep, the DNR, the U.S. Forest Service, and, well, anyway, I could go on and on.
I like that voice. And we also want to say thanks to Keith and the Timber Jay for always supporting us and being here. He's waving right now. And quite frankly, if it wouldn't have been for Keith, we would have been about an hour late today. And I give credit where credit is due. I called up Kathy and I said, it's at 10 o'clock. We've had such a mess on this whole program since COVID last year that we were scattered. We all looked at each other when Keith said it. I'm thinking, boy, he's an hour early. And actually, we were going to be an hour late. He goes, no, it says 10 o'clock. So we made it. We made it. And it worked out real good. I'm sure glad Keith is on time, though. Yes, we can. But again, we want to thank all the volunteers out there, everybody for everything you've done. I know that there's so many that would like to tell you that if they were here. Thank you. And I think every one of you can see a little piece when you get here of what you've done, whether it be on the mission of the North American Bear Center across the United States, overseas, or wherever it's at. I bet you everybody here can see that they've had a piece of that as volunteers. So we want to say thank you. We're going to sign off now. Sharon, do you want to say something real quick? Want to say thank you? We're going to give Sharon just a minute here. Again, come right up here.
Yes, I'd like to thank again all of our wonderful volunteers that come here and help me out and help all of us out as staff members. And like Carolyn and Scott and Lynn said, every little bit that you do pays off in a huge way at the Bear Center. And as you see, I'm just watching and keeping an eye on our beautiful Holly, because she tends to have little temper tantrums now and then. But she's beautiful. She's just beautiful. And she is the boss here. Remember, she has a big job here. Keep us all in line. Thank you all. Here's Scott.
And we're going to leave off with Lynn saying thank you, and then we're going to be back here at 1 o'clock. Lynn, do you want to say just the last couple words? You got to say last. You have to. You deserve to.
Hey, yeah, it's a pleasure to be on and be able to talk to the volunteers that are out there listening, and thank you again.
So thank you. We'll be signing off, and everybody have a good day, and we'll see you at 1 o'clock today to do the drawing on the prizes. And hopefully we can get something figured out so we can have it on Facebook Live at that time. As everybody knows, our phone service can be rather difficult up here at times, and different things seem to happen with us with electronics. It's just a bug in the system. But again, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you about 1 o'clock today. Thank you.